morning everyone, welcome back to Brighter Minds Academy's YouTube channel, where learning is super fun. In today's video, we're going to talk about something that makes reading and writing way more powerful, which is our literary devices. Now, by the end of this video, you'll be able to spot them in stories, poems, and even songs. So in this video, we will discuss the common ones in detail. So without wasting any further time, let's dig right in. Let's discuss simile. Now, a simile is the comparison between two things using words like or as. For example, her smile was as bright as the sun, or even he ran like a cheetah. Anything where we use like or as to compare two things is known as a simile. It is used to create vivid, imaginative connections that make descriptions stronger. Moving on, let's discuss metaphor. Now, a metaphor directly compares two unlike things by saying one is the other. For example, let's take this sentence. The classroom was a zoo. Now, it does not mean that there are animals in the classroom, but it actually means that the classroom was loud and chaotic like a zoo. Metaphors helps to create vivid imagery or help express complex ideas. On the other hand, personification gives human qualities to non-human things, like objects, animals, or ideas. Let's understand this with an example. The wind whispered to the trees. Now, this is an amazing example of personification, where the wind has been given the human ability of whispering. But the author wants their readers to feel relatable and adds an appealing nature to the description so that it feels alive. Now, do you know what a hyperbole is? Hyperbole is also a literary device that is used when the author wants to show extreme exaggeration to unrealistic ends. For example, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Now, nobody could actually eat a horse as a human, but exaggerating it emphasizes the point the author is trying to make. Moving on, let's discuss onomatopoeia. Now, this might sound like a big word, but trust me, it's one of the easiest literary devices to understand. Now, onomatopoeia is basically words that imitate or acts as a sound. For example, certain words like boom, bang, buzz, or even meow. Now, these words act as a sound in the text. If you look at the sentence, the bacon sizzled in the pan. The sizzle word is almost like a sound effect in the sentence, and it helps the reader to hear or imagine what's happening in the text. Adding on, alliteration is repetition of the same sound or a consonant sound in a sentence. It could sound almost like a tongue twister. She sells seashells by the seashore. Now here, we could see the repetition of the consonant sound S. Alliteration creates rhythm and makes language catchy, often used in poems, ads, and tongue twisters. Similarly, assonance is almost similar to alliteration. Now, assonance is a repetition of a vowel sound within words that are close together. Unlike alliteration, which focuses on the first letter, assonance focuses on the sound inside the word. For example, hear the mellow wedding bells. Now here, we could repeat the E sound. Assonance creates a musical, flowing effect in poetry, speeches, and even song lyrics. It makes language smoother and more pleasing to ear. Moreover, allusion is a quick reference to something famous like a book, movie, myth, or history. For example, he's a real Romeo. Now the text mentions Romeo from Shakespeare, which helps the reader make an inference and understand what the author is trying to say. Allusion gives deeper meaning because they connect writing to things we already know. Irony is when the opposite of what you expect happens, or when words means the opposite of their original meaning. Now, irony has three parts, which are known as verbal, situational, and dramatic irony. Let's discuss verbal irony. Verbal irony is when someone says the opposite of what they mean, often used for humor, sarcasm, or emphasis. For example, on a stormy day, someone says, "Such a lovely weather we're having." The literal words are positive, but the actual situation is the opposite. Verbal irony is common in everyday conversation and in literature for sarcasm or a witty effect. On the other hand, situational irony occurs when the opposite of what you expect happens. The situation turns out differently than predicted or intended. For example, a fire station burns down. Now, this does not really make any sense compared to logic. Situational irony surprises the audience because the outcome is contrary to what logic or common sense would suggest. It often adds humor, shock, or poignancy to a story. And lastly, dramatic irony happens when the audience knows something that the character does not. Often creates tension, suspense, or anticipation. For instance, in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, the audience knows Juliet is alive when Romeo finds her seemingly dead. Or even in a scary movie, the audience sees the villain hiding in the closet, but the character goes unaware. Dramatic irony keeps the audience engaged because we understand the full context while the character is in the dark. It can make us anxious, excited, or emotionally involved in the story. Now, what is an imagery? Imagery is a literary device that uses a vivid and sensory language using your 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Now, this helps the author to make a descriptive picture in the reader's mind and deepens the understanding and connection to the story. It enhances the story's meaning, emotional power, and overall experience. Now, let's recap what we learned in this video. Now, simile is comparison with like and as. Metaphor is direct comparison. Personification is human traits for non-human. Hyperbole is exaggeration. Onomatopoeia is sound words. Alliteration is same starting sound. Assonance is repetition of vowel sound. Imagery is appeals to senses. Allusion is a reference to something famous. And irony is opposite of what we expect.
And that's figurative language explained. Next time you're reading a poem, story, or even listening to music, see how many of these you can spot. If this video helped you and you require tutoring lessons for any subjects from grade 1 to 8, please contact us on our email address for more information. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay healthy and eat healthy.